have never forgotten my Ilocano, and I have never forgotten my Tagalog, kahit na ang kinasanayan ko ng lengguwahe during the last 28 years is English. So, kapag may pagkakataon na magsalita ako ng Tagalog, mapapasalita niyo pa rin ako ng Tagalog, kahit na more convenient for me to speak in English. So I started my education in Santo Tomas, Isabela as a little kid who was dyslexic. So I couldn't recognize my B from my D, my P from my Q, and so many other things. Until now, I don't know my left from my right. Unless I start doing this, and that's my right, because that's how I write. However, even with that, I went through college. I graduated at the University of the Philippines for my bachelor's degree, for my master's in biochemistry, with focus in nutritional biochemistry. I graduated also at the University of the Philippines. And then, I started my genetic engineering and biotechnology at the University of the Philippines, which sent me to Japan for a fellowship in biophysics and genetic manipulation. It didn't end there. After a few years of teaching as an assistant professor at the University of the Philippines and also at the University of the East, I was given a chance. I actually had multiple chances to go to the United States to study for my PhD. But as a young kid, I lost my dad, and my mom didn't allow me to go to the University of Michigan. Was the first offer for me to study. The second offer was Yale University, and she still said no. The reason being, at that time, I just came back from Japan to the Philippines, and it so happened that my advisor in doing genetic engineering in Japan was a Dr. Machnab at Yale University. But my mom prevailed, so I didn't leave. As I was becoming more a mature individual and praying for what's best for me, for my family, and even for the entire country, I was given the chance to travel by a company that hired me as a chemist, and they were sending me to different parts of the world. And in one of those trips, I happened to go to the United States. And during that visit, I happened to go to the University of Arkansas, which in 3 days offered me free education for my PhD. As a Filipino, it is so difficult to go to the United States and finish your PhD because the tuition is more than $10,000 every semester. And I have that opportunity to go and study. So what did I do? I didn't tell my mom. I told her it's just a job. But I have to be there for 6 months at a time. Because I was still trying it. Will I make it or not? Because I was already mature, a very mature individual during that time. So my mom said, yes, yay, I won. And then later on, I told her, Mom, I'm doing my PhD. I'm teaching at the University of Arkansas at the same time, and everything is for free. I can still send you money because I was supporting my mom because I lost my dad when I was young. And so I did. And so my journey went from a small town in Santo Tomas, Isabela, to the different parts of the world, and to the United States, where I had chances as a director of a clinical research organization, as a chief technology officer of a biomedical company, and as a vice president of a dietary supplements manufacturing company, which got me tired. Why? Because at that manufacturing company, we had 3 shifts. And being the person who knows the formulations and the processes concerning each of the different formulas, I was on call 24/7. It was the most tiring job I ever did. So, I left that job and stepped down. By stepping down, I mean, I don't want that position anymore. So now, I moved to another dietary supplements company. And what is good about that? The good thing about that is, I make formulas made of natural materials so that the people taking those products do not get side effects. And I make sure that all those formulas are clean and good for everybody, including children and adults and seniors. Who guided me in this process? I don't have my dad. My mom is a simple housewife taking care of kids. Who was my guide? It was only God. God led me from one thing to another, and I consulted with Him every step of the way. So when my sister asked me, Ate, merong mga dumadating sa Facebook ko. Facebook ko na ganito, invitation. Eh, sige, padala mo. Kung bibigyan nila ako ng award, well and good. Then I can share what I have gone through to everyone. Maybe it can inspire kids. Maybe it can inspire adults. Because I also give career talks to high schools, to elementary, and to all those who are going through different difficulties in life. Teenagers who are suffering from anxiety, depression, there are natural ways to combat those. Rather than taking Prozac and all those different things, even diabetes, there are natural ways to combat all of those. And I know those things. I have written books, but those books are in electrochemistry, the other books are in biomedicine, the other books are in nanotechnology for medical applications. The next book will be a simple one. It will be about vitamins, minerals, and herbals, and ways of combating different kinds of health situations in very easy ways, because you can go and harvest those different leaves in your backyard, o kaya sa paso. You can plant them in paso. And that's what we need in the Philippines. Why? The Philippines is so poor. It makes me cry every time I pray in the morning and in the evening when I'm begging God to stop corruption in my own country. And that is what I want to share with all of you. I thank God for every opportunity that I have been given, which not every Filipino are given at all. Thank you so much for being here.